Hi there, fifth grade clarinet players. This is a recording of me taking you guys through number 113 in your book. Now, even if you don't have like 113 in your book circled, this is a really, really simple song. And it just kind of reinforces and does a little bit more with dotted notes, which we use quite a bit in band, okay? The first time we used dotted notes, by the way, it's not like they're new. Notes with a little dot. The first time we really saw those, we saw that for when we did our Christmas song for our Christmas concert, and it had deck the halls. If you notice, I just snapped my finger 3 times, okay? That's a lot of times the magic of the dot, okay? So let's talk this through here, okay? So you only need 2 notes for this number 113. This is why I said any of you guys can do this. Do not think, oh my gosh, wow, that's way too far in the book. You're going to be fine, okay? So what I want to show you is that, like right here, we have G, 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 A, G, 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 A. And then here we add those 3 Gs together because G, that's just 1 G. They're tied. It's not 3 separate Gs. I'm not going to play 2 Gs there. I'm going to play 1. Now, obviously it's longer because it's all tied together, okay? Now, what the most important thing I need to know is that an 8th note gets a half a beat, okay? I know that, by the way, because there are 2 beats in a measure, and, well, something plus something equals 2. I believe it's 1 and 1. So these 2 notes, these first 2 Gs together equal 1, which means by themselves, if I'm just talking about the first one, or just talking about the last one, if I take 1, divide it in half, I'm left with half, okay? So the deal is that this G right beside it is also worth a half. Okay, and the last G it's also tied to is worth a half, okay? So if you're doing your lovely math skills, I know you didn't expect to come in to get signed up for a lovely math class when you signed up for band, but we totally do a lot of math. It's always just really simple stuff, okay? We just take those 3 numbers and we equal our 1.5, okay? Those of you who aren't sure about that math, remember a half and a half equals 1. And if I have another half, I just add that back to the 1. 1 plus a half is 1.5, okay? So this G here is G-A, okay? Guess what? That one's worth 1, that one's worth a half. This measure and this measure are the same. So we went G-A, G-A. This is what this dot is, guys. We've done dots. They take the number of the worth of the number of beats a note gets, which in this case is a quarter note. I'll do this down here. So that if this didn't have a dot, it'd be worth 1, okay? The dot takes that number and divides it in half. That's what every dot forever and ever will do, okay? We'll review our dotted half note in a second, okay? So what's half of 1? Well, a half. Guys, no matter which way I'm doing my math, I keep ending up with 1.5. That's because basically every measure in this song is the same, okay? So we just separate the G's in the first 2, and in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, those G's will just be added together, okay? So the only other thing I wanted to just remind you of real quick is that when we have those dots, every once in a while I get people who think that a dot is worth 1. And that's because, of course, a half note, an empty hole with the line, okay, is worth 2. In that case, if I put a dot on it, if I take that number 2 and divide it in half, I get my magic number 1. And that's why a lot of people assume that dot is worth the 1. But of course, it's just worth half of the first number, okay? So guys, this is literally G and A, the whole song. That's all it is. You don't need anything else, okay? So we're gonna try this. It's really simple. It's a really easy thing to try. Just reviewing how dots work in band, okay? So here we go. I'll go by the speed, 1 and 2, and here's 113. The reason I just wanted to remind you about how those lovely dots work is we're going to be seeing them again when we eventually get on Mount Pleasant for next year. on Mount Pleasant, on Mount Pleasant. If you notice, I just gave 3 little snaps. There's our wonderful dotted notes again, okay? So there's just a quick review of how dots work in music. Happy practice with number 113, guys.